George Harrison, Taxman, kicking things off. The year was 1966, and the Beatles were about to go in the studio to record the songs that would be on Revolver. And they wanted more studio time. This album is the first album where the Beatles really got to explore the space in the studio. They hadn't been able to do that before. Their schedule was too tight, and their managers wouldn't give them enough time, you know. They were cranking albums out like in a day. The management would be like, all right, we booked you 30 minutes at the studio to make your album. Well, actually, the songs themselves are longer than 30 minutes. Just play them faster. I don't give a fuck. Just do it. So they were working on that, you know. And the thing is like they were so busy because back then, if you were like a big-time pop star, not only did you have to make albums and play shows, you had to do interviews, you had to do photo shoots, you had to make movies back then. And I'm not talking like movies about your songwriting process or like a concert film documentary. I'm talking like an action movie where you're like going on adventures and solving crimes and shit. And then in the middle of it, you have to be like, love, love me do. You know what I'm saying? And the Beatles were like, all right. So they went to their management. They're like, we want to spend more time in the studio. We want to clear some time. Management was like, well, we got 3 months set aside for your new movie. It's a Western where you're all going to be cowboys. And Paul and John were like, no, cut that. We're just going to use studio time. And Ringo was like, oh, I kind of wanted to be a cowboy. But yeah, more studio time. That's great. That's fine. And this was right around the time, too, when the Beatles were going to stop touring altogether, just focus on making albums, which is crazy for a band that big. But the research I did about it, it made sense. Like, the Beatles at that time, they hated touring because their shows, like, the people, they couldn't even hear their own instruments because the people were screaming so loud. And when I was reading it, I was like, dude, same, bro. I get it. Thank you. That's how it was for them. I mean, I'm not saying it's not all seated Polaris, you know, shows. It's it can get wild on Craigie tour. Summer is upon us. I did my first festival a couple weeks ago. Shit got crazy, man. It was outdoors, sunny. People were dancing. I was terrified. I don't like that. I was in the middle of telling a story. I had them in my zone. It was hard to get them in the zone. I had them. This lady came up to the side of the stage, and she was holding this toddler, and she was like, hey, psst, psst. So I stopped my story, and I was like, what? And she was like, this is Arlo. He's lost his mother. Can you make an announcement for Lost Arlo? And I was like, of course. It's going to kill my vibe, but I'll do it. You know, I'm a good guy. So I interrupt the story, and I'm like, hey, everybody, listen, we got a lost kid. If you're Arlo's mom or dad or parent, can you come over to the side of the stage? And this hand raises, and this woman comes out to the side of the stage, and she looks, she's like, not my Arlo. I was like, well, how many Arlos are there? And where's your Arlo? We got 2 missing Arlos, and it's killing my vibe.